Go on, guys, please get one of yourself done. And what a great goal! Not so. Shoots!
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to OnlyLeedsBros. Hope everybody is keeping and doing well. You're very welcome along to Monday night's live stream. As we talk about all the latest transfer news around Elland Road, we do a bit of digging into it. As always, guys, please make sure you're getting your thoughts in the comment box below. We love to hear it. If you are enjoying the video, please make sure you're dropping a like on it. And, of course, hitting subscribe to the channel. As you can see, we're very, very close to 3,500, so that would be absolutely fantastic. During the course of the show, we're going to talk a little bit about Leeds and Milan and how the pre-season went and how we all feel kind of going into the Premier League season and what we kind of need to get done before the season kicks off. As always, we want to hear your thoughts on that as well. We're going to talk about Balad El Khannouss, as Dylan's sneezing. We're going to speak about loose links for Calvert-Lewin. We're going to talk about Nico Gonzalez from Juventus, Antonio, and everything else in between, and much, much more. As always, guys, please make sure you're dropping a like on the video. Before we do get into it, though, guys, Only Leeds Bros turns 1 on the 21st of August this month. So to celebrate that, we're giving away one of you lucky winner a Leeds United jersey of your choice, home, away, and of course the new home and away, and of course the tour kit is out there as well. So all you have to do to be in a chance to win is scan that QR code, make sure you subscribe to the Only Leeds Bros YouTube channel, retweet the post over in X, and of course tag in me, and make sure all steps are followed, guys, for it to be a valid entry. Winner will be announced on the 21st of August live on stream, where we'll get your details and we'll post a brand new Leeds United jersey to your door. Dillo, how are you, brother?
Other than that, I took a fit of sneezing there, lads. It's absolutely rattled the brain on me. Honest to God, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what happened. But all I can say is, what a weekend was had. Between everyone that came over from Leeds, fans that travelled just from anywhere around the country, met a lot of people, obviously went to the Camden. It was absolutely phenomenal. On the other note, the board needs to stop signing some players. Yeah, I'm going to be negative. If BMG isn't here, I am going to be negative.
We won't. We're balanced here. Only Leeds Bros is a balanced channel with a bit of negativity and a bit of positivity. We'll start positive, a little bit of negative in the middle, and we're positive at the end. So that's what we'll run with it anyway, Dylan. Let's say hello to a couple of people in the building, Dylan, before we do get into it. John Pepper is here. Think our transfer window is done. See us all soon. Sack the board. So I see John's taking it well. Anyway, John, still 3 weeks to go, brother. Don't be a little bit balanced. Guys, don't be conned by the whiners' views. Like your show because it's balanced. Titles like this only give the whingers more fuel. Time is ticking, though. We're not getting carried away here, but time is ticking. But it's up to themselves if you want to get carried away, Pierre. You know yourself. Please take a more calm approach. We'll take that on board. Thanks very much, Pierre. Gonzalez sounds interesting. Is there volatility in this connection? Please, we will get through that, brother. We will get through, as always. Hasn't came from a very reliable, credible source, so we will get into it. And again, as always, we kind of give you the details, and then you can make up your own mind on it, pal. Stephen Bourne is here, says, all right, lads, still buzzing after that weekend. What an epic day. Hopefully Leeds will travel back over next season. I hope they do. I really, really hope they do. We've got Alex in the building here as well. Amy Clark. We've got Shane Dalton. Leeds AG is here, says, evening. Shane says, evening all, great pre-season. Leeds AG says, evening lads, great to meet you. Sadly, great to meet you too as well, pal. And your missus as well. We met so many people on the weekend as well. It was just absolutely fantastic. What a weekend. Michael says, how are you lads? All good, pal. Good to see you in here on your Monday night. Spend your Monday night with us. There he is now, that head case. Had a great day with Eddie from Rusty Tin Can. If you can, lads, go across and give his content a like. Very different to any other Leeds content. Off the cuff. Absolute legend of a man.
So much respect for him.
Great day with you, brother. Hiya, chaps. How are you both? Loved your videos at Inter Milan match, AC Milan match. Yeah, it was class, mate. Really, really good. Dylan, let's speak about it anyway. The AC Milan game. Look, we all know it was a fantastic day out. We've seen everything across social media of how good of a day it was. How much we all enjoyed it. All the Leeds fans that travelled over to Dublin. Every Leeds fan I talked to and spoke to, and I met so many new people, all turned around and said the same thing, that Leeds United need to go back here ASAP. But apart from the kind of enjoyment side and the drinking side and the bit of crack, let's talk about what happened on the pitch, Dylan, because really, the season's about to kick off. What was your thoughts of the game overall? Who was your standout performers? Who was the ones you're a little bit worried about? And what do we need then as we look forward to Everton on Monday night?
Look, I think it's obvious straight off the bat. I think it's definitely more signings have to come in the door. The standout player just going straight out is that man on the screen right there, Anton Stack. Not just because of his goal, he was everywhere. He was like a bee. He was absolutely everywhere. Loves a tackle. Yellow card he didn't deserve. That was a bit mad. Referee was up and down. But we dominated the game in areas not similar to last season. I thought we controlled the ball really well at times. I thought, to be quite honest with you, on the negative side, Schmidt is definitely not the man. I can see why Fark didn't play him a lot last season. He's out of his depth, I'll to be honest with you. I thought he got caught a good few times. But yeah, look, it's pre-season at the end of the day. But I thought it was a very enjoyable game. I thought it was... I think the scoreline kind of showed itself. There was a few chances we could have nicked another one. So could have they. So yeah, I was actually really enjoyable. I enjoyed the day. And to be honest with you, like you said it to me during the game as well, when in the warm up, Piero was right beside me, so I was kind of fanboying, if that's what you want to say. But yeah, look, a lot of the players done good. We're just going to say it real quick, and then hopefully we won't have to speak about it again. I don't agree with the booing from Jack Harrison. Thought it was there's no need for it. Look, lads, I don't admire the club. I don't think anyone does. But he wore a Leeds jersey and you have to back him. With the corner in the last minute of the game, potentially to score the winning header or winning goal. People is beyond us. He's going to take the corner. It just baffles me. It baffles me. But look, I suppose if people are entitled to their opinion, I just think it's wrong. I know it's wrong what he done, but if he's going to be here, we have to back him.
Yeah, Dylan, I think that's everything in a nutshell, as you said. Like that man is there in your screen, Dylan Anton Stack, for me. He was the biggest positive through the whole day. He was sensational. Could have had one in the first half as well when he jinked inside on the right foot and hit the crossbar as well. That would have been a cracking start to the game. And I think if we scored that, we might have pushed on a little bit more. I thought we controlled the game very well, but I thought Milan maybe on the break. We looked a little bit susceptible, as you said, on that right-hand side with Isaac Smith. He didn't know whether to go with his man. He didn't know whether to cover his position. He was being pulled inside. He was being pulled outside. He wasn't really sure what to do, Dylan. And as you said, that was probably... I wouldn't say the downfall of not playing games, Dylan, but it's probably a man with one foot out the door. We spoke about it as well with Eddie and Jer and Matty as well as we're heading back to the Camden. You can very much see it. He's a man just waiting to be sanctioned. And look, I thought we looked a lot better when Sam Boyram came on the right-hand side. Is that saying Sam Boyram has to start Premier League games? Absolutely not. I think we can all just hope and pray as Leeds United fans at the minute that Jayden Bogle is okay for Everton on Monday night. From what I did hear, he is back in individual training. How fit is he? Can he complete the 90 minutes? Are we still going to get the same output of what we've seen him towards the tail end of last season and in this pre-season? I'm not too sure, but yeah, it's imperative, Dylan, that we get full back cover now. And I know Fark has already said it that he won't sanction the loan move for Isaac Smith until Leeds United get someone in, and that's obviously a smart way of going about things. But overall, Dylan, I was very, very happy. I think it was a very good pre-season with some very stern tests in there. Obviously, Man United and Stockholm, the games away in Germany, you can look at them as more of a, kind of run out in a shape sort of thing. But I thought we did very good against Villarreal. Look, let's be honest, a decent Spanish side, Champions League side, AC Milan as well. They're no pushovers either, even though they hadn't got their full strength team out. So there's definitely positives to take, and of course a few negatives in there. But I think you have to kind of take them negatives and learn from them and move on. And I thought we looked very good defensive wise. Obviously, just apart from Isaac Smith on that right hand side, the midfield I thought was outstanding. That trio of Tanaka, Ampadu, and Stack. I think that'll be our starting midfield against Everton. And it was just going forward, Dylan, a little bit. You could see we were just missing that little bit of start. Yeah, that little bit of starters. I thought Nanto tried. I thought Nanto looked hard. He had a chance where he should have shot, should have blasted it, and he tried to think the keeper. There was no way he was going to score there. Piero had a snap shot.
You roared at it as well, and I noticed it. Look, you just got there ahead of me. It was, I think, Good Munson was on the overlap. He should have played it, and he didn't. I think he went in for a cross as opposed to, look, it's just little things like that's going to come our way, and that's where the discipline is, and this is what these pre-season games are for, to put these up to bed, and make sure that the ball does go in the back of the net. But yeah, you're right in what you're saying. We're missing that kind of spark, that kind of flair player, the excitement player. And look, I think the 49ers know that now.
Yeah. Yeah, and then as you said, Dylan, to kind of wrap it up, I'm not going to hang around too much on a negative because it was kind of probably the only kind of negative of a very good day was the Jack Harrison situation. Obviously, look, I agree with you as well, Dylan. Maybe when he first comes on the pitch, you kind of let him know, look, we're not happy with you. You need to prove something. You know, if you're going to give him his bills, then fine, fair enough. But when it continues on into the game, when he's running forward the ball, when Leeds are going to attack, it just doesn't feel right to me. It's something that I personally can't get him on board with. Do I agree with what he done? Absolutely not. He's went completely the wrong way about it. But I can never find it in my heart and in my soul to be a Leeds player. No matter what happened, you could see at the end of the game he pulled himself away from the group of players. Went down to the kind of the south stand in the Aviva, gave a bit of a clap, went over to a couple of the young players. I think for me, I've kind of resigned myself that Jack Harrison is going to be staying here, and Daniel Farke's comments as well that. He said that the fans have every right to give their opinion, every right to boo, and the ball is in Jack Harrison's court, Dylan, now to turn that around. Exactly like what Willie Nonto done, exactly like what Brendan Aronson done last season as well. So, yeah, it's completely with him, Dylan, whatever's going to happen with him. And that's it. That's.
I think for me, just I'm going to leave it at this, is obviously I agree. Look, he should have done what he done. I get that, 110%. Yeah. But he has a Leeds jersey on. He's playing. We want to win the game, shouldn't be booing. For me, that's the start, middle, and end of that story. Close the book. But the positive of it, I don't want Jack Harrison here. I'm just going to make that clear. I'd rather we got someone else. And not just because of what he's done, just for the excitement of going into the Premier League, a new face, a new design of Leeds going into the Premier League. With that being said, we've seen what Farke can do to players. And I don't mean that you can cast them with a wand and go, don't do that again, or you have to prove this, you have to prove that. If he wants to get his career back on track, he's going to have to win over the Leeds fans. And that means 110% in each and every training session, each and every game, off the pitch, on the pitch, it doesn't matter. So, as you said, you hit the nail on the head. It's in Jack Harrison's. The ball's in his court now. If he's got it. That's all I have to say on that.
Yeah, look, only time will tell, Dylan. And look, I think on Monday night, if he comes on and plays against Everton, he's going to get booed from both sections of the fan base. It's going to be very similar, if not 10 times worse than what it was at the Aviva Stadium. And it's going to test a man's character. And if he can kind of come through this and, get back to his best sort of football and help Leeds United survive in the Premier League and be successful in the Premier League, well, I'm sure then, we all kind of take our hats off to him. But we don't forget, you know what I mean? We don't forget as Leeds United fans. And it's kind of, he's done us dirty once. We've seen the interviews and stuff like that. So I think now, look, I've kind of resigned myself that Jack Harrison's going to be a Leeds United player next season. I'm not going to fault him. Will I criticise his performances if they aren't quite there? Absolutely. And if he does well, I'll praise him and say that he done well today. And it's going to go no further than football for me now. I think we kind of just have to put it to bed and move aside and try and get on with it. Because as long as he's playing for Leeds United, we need him to do well. Because if he's not, then ultimately the club isn't doing well. So yeah, I think we'll move on from Harrison because we'll talk about it all night. But yeah, overall, Dylan, as you said, fantastic day out. Hopefully Leeds United don't leave it as long the next time to come back to Dublin, because it was a fantastic day out. I think it was easy for the Leeds fans to travel over as well. Well, obviously I know there was a couple of hiccups coming through Manchester and stuff like that, but it's only just across the water. So yeah, hopefully if it's not next year, maybe the year after, Dylan, we get them back to the Aviva and we all enjoy a great weekend again. So yeah, very good, very successful, and hopefully the club look at it like that as well. Top Banana is in the building. He says, evening all Leeds, and we MOT going to watch from the start. Cheers. Thanks pal. Really do appreciate that. Let's get into the transfer talk then, Dylan. Not long left in the window now. This day, 3 weeks, it slams shut, thank God, because I'm getting a bit of a pain talking about transfers, and especially over these last 11, 12 days now since we signed Lucas Perry now as well, and it seems like it's come to a standstill. But Dylan, again, we're talking about Bilal El Khannouss. From the Leeds side of it, Dylan, we obviously got the update last week that there was a meeting scheduled with Bilal El Khannouss and his representatives. We haven't heard any update on that at all from the football club, from any of the local journalists. Nothing like that. It's gone very quiet. So for me, I'm a little bit worried what way them talks have gone, because today from the Daily Telegraph, we got news that Newcastle are now interested in El Khannouss as well, Dylan. For me, it's not looking good, this one, is it?
No, and do you know what, Darren? I actually watched the game, Leicester and Sheffield Wednesday. Was it?
Sorry, Leicester and Sheffield Wednesday. Yeah, he was out.
I watched it, and he actually assisted. I can't think of his name. He made a lovely run up the left hand side, played it into the middle of the park into 100 players. I can't remember. Done a lovely little run, scored a goal. Now, not El Khannouss, as I said, it was more of an assist. But yeah, I was kind of watching him in and out after that. I think he's the definitely our player. He's young, he's experienced in the Premier League, and I don't think he wants to play Championship football. I think if he did come, it would more likely put. I'm more thinking on the basis of the players that are similar to that position that want to play, the likes of Nanto, Ramazani, even Jack Harrison, is to give us that competition, because I really do think he's definitely put a bid in anyway, or try and get it over the line as quick as you can, because it just looks, from what I've seen anyway, YouTube as well, you watch highlights, but he's definitely our type of winger, to a certain degree.
GP26 says, hello boys, great to see you, Paul, great to meet you as well on Saturday, pal. Absolute pleasure again.
Cheers,
thanks
pal.
very much for your super chat, buddy. Do really appreciate that. Dylan, look, we've said it, and any of you guys that have been watching OnlyLeedsBros over the last couple of weeks will know that we said the same thing about Pajero. Go get him, get it done. We said the same thing about Khannouss when we were linked to him 2 weeks ago. We knew the release clause, we knew what we needed to do. And as I start kind of moving on and rumbling on to the following week, 10 days, 11 days, I said it last week that I just don't have a good feeling about this one. We know the release clause was supposed, he spoke to his representatives and he's still holding off, and it stinks out of the Bijou deal for me, and it feels like he's waiting, using Leeds United as a bargain until to possibly get a move to one of his other clubs or wherever he wants to go, whether it's going to be Newcastle or Spurs. Suppose he does want to stay and play in the Premier League. But yeah, going back to the player himself, Dylan, you could see his quality on the weekend. Set pieces as well, 2 assists from set pieces. Exactly what Leeds United are crying out for. So I think this is why I'm a little bit kind of down about this one, because I would have liked him to kind of get it done. We know the release clause expires now on the 15th of August as well, Dylan. It's looking very, very unlikely Leeds United are going to get this one done.
Yeah, I looked it up as well. It's just saying that supposedly, and as I take it with a pinch of salt, lads, is that there's a meeting meant to be scheduled. Now, whether that is with Leeds or whether that's with, Palace are in as well, and now Newcastle. But as you said, you hit the nail on the head. It's similar to the Bijou deal. Is he waiting for certain things like that Newcastle to come in?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if Newcastle will just trigger the clause straight away. But yeah, Leeds need to kind of get moving now. I'm not going to be negative, but they do. Like as you said, 3 weeks to go. We're playing Everton, first Premier League game at home under the lights. Can't wait, buzzing next Monday. But we need to start. We need to finish this window off strong.
Yeah. Robbie says here, the players are not Leeds fans. Why would they choose Leeds? Yeah, look, I suppose as Leeds fans, we kind of do have to take the Leeds hat off and look from a player that doesn't have any affiliation and love towards Leeds United. And when ultimately you have clubs, inside them Champions League spots, you've got the likes of Spurs, you've got the likes of Newcastle, especially obviously the project you have there, the richest club in the world now at the minute. Of course, then it's going to be more appealing to these type of players. But this is what we spoke about, why Leeds need to pull the trigger on these ones fast. I always kind of had the feeling with the way we were building, obviously from the back line through the midfield up to the strikers, that we were playing a bit of a dangerous game. Look, there's still 3 weeks left to go. I'm still holding out hope I'm not down in tools and, like what John said, sack the board and get rid of them. Our window is done. I don't believe that. 3 weeks is a long time in football, Dylan. I still do believe the 49ers will get it done. It's just, I think as Leeds fans at the minute, it's the names now that we're being linked with. Obviously, we've heard Calvert-Lewin come out today. We've heard Miguel Antonios, and it feels like, we've started off with targets that are up here, really high ceiling, really get you excited, and now it feels like we're dropping down, and we're kind of getting left with the soft players like Dominic Scraps and like obviously Calvert-Lewin. Don't get me wrong, we'll get on to him a little bit more in detail, but he's a free agent, and all of a sudden we're being linked to him, and obviously Man United are in from now as well. So yeah, it feels like we could have just done it a little bit quicker, especially with Everton around the corner. Ideally for me, and we spoke about it, that we would have liked to see that kind of starting 11 against AC Milan, what we needed, and it felt like it did against AC Milan. There was a couple of pieces missing in the puzzle, wasn't there? So, and we kind of wanted them ready for the Everton game. Look, we spoke about it as well with Matty and Jerry and yourself, Dylan, when we were walking back to the Camden, is that I still do believe that if Leeds put out that team that we played against AC Milan, we're more than capable to get a result against them on Monday night. But I worry going into the season if that's what the team is going to be like, because I don't think we can fully throw our hats and all our eggs in one basket with Joe Pirro. Nemecha, we know his injury record as well, and then on both wings, Dylan, we're not really getting that bit of spark from the both wings. Willie Nato tried the weekend, but just hadn't really got it. Ramazani is one of them that kind of get you up off your seat, but he doesn't seem to be getting much game time. You could see from Dan James was just a little bit rusty out there as well. So we need that other option. We need that something a little bit different, Dylan. So yeah, as I said, look, as the caption says, like, time is ticking. Let's just hope we can get sorted ASAP, because so far up to the window so far, the players that we have signed, Dylan, I think have been absolutely fantastic. Like, we just need more of it, don't we? We need more of that type of player coming in.
Yeah, look, it falls back to everything that the 49ers said, that they're going to use every bit of the money that they've got to spend in the window, and I understand that. You know, when you start going up the field with attackers and wingers, it does get a lot harder. I get that.
Yeah.
Then the other side of it, we've talked about a few weeks ago, is a PSR problem. It could potentially be we're waiting for outgoings to go, which is another understandable point. But I think for me, and I don't agree with sacking the board, I know what John Pepper said there, but I think from now until the end of the window, if we don't sign a player, the 49ers failed. I have to be completely honest with you. They didn't go in with what they told us, and I'm basing it simply on, they said they were going to spend every last penny of what is needed to bring in this team, and it's obvious. You said it yourself. A great analogy, by the way. We are missing a few pieces of the puzzle, and you could see it now. And then even now with Bogle, you know, obviously there's a rumour, I don't know how true it is, the potential he's out till December. So you're talking
no, Bogle's all good. It came out late on from Graham Smith that he was all good. He's back in individual training and that, so it was good news. Good news about Bogle. Like, it's not too bad. Even look, we want him available for the Everton game, but it was good news that it's not the December, because of course that was kind of starting to grow a little bit of legs. We heard it around the Aviva on the way in that Bogle was meant to be out until December, and just for me, no chance we could afford that one. So good news on the Bogle front.
Yeah, look, fullbacks definitely. We definitely need another left back, especially with, like, obviously I know Schmidt's probably going to be there, but we definitely need probably one that can play both sides, preferably. You know, you've said it yourself there in the last few videos. Potentially, there's no harm in going in for a few loan players.
Yeah,
that's the way I'd be looking at it. And wingers, a 10, a striker. Like, I'm giving myself anxiety even thinking about it, to be honest with you, because still a good few players in this team that needs to be coming in.
Yeah, I agree with you. Look at there's reports still in as well there today that Leeds are still looking at potential 5. So they're looking at 2 strikers, a winger, a number 10, and a fullback as well. So that's 5 players, and that 5 players in the next 3 weeks is massive. Now looking back on the 49ers history, we know towards the tail end of last season we got a lot of our transfer business done there as well, and the previous window as well. So they are that type of owners that seem to let it run late onto the window, kind of the dominoes fall and they see what way they end up. It's a dangerous game to play, if you ask me. I think us as fans, naturally we're going to get a little bit worked up and anxiety going to be heightened because it's approaching, D-Day now when it all kind of kicks off. But yeah, look, as I said, I kind of knew this period was going to be tough with getting, them attacking players, your strikers and the creative players. They're obviously the most sought after in football. I just didn't think it would be this long. We signed Perry, it felt like we were we were in a really, really good state after signing Stack, after signing Longstaff, after signing Perry. Feel like we were in a really good rhythm. I felt like we were just going to get things done quickly. We were going to have the rubber stamp on it, ready for Milan, and maybe 1 or 2 loans, as you said, after that, towards the tail end of the window. But it feels like at the minute we're falling behind a little bit. Where we kind of had ourselves in the race, it just feels like we're being pegged back a little bit. I think that's my kind of feeling at the minute.
I agree.
Let's get into a couple of the comments anyway. GP26 says, it's funny with the old owners, so much talk about with the new ownership. No one knows what the hell is going on in the background. It's hard to make content for YouTube. So hard, mate. So hard when it's this quiet. Look, at another side of it, it's really, really good because it can catch you by surprise. And then, when you're trying to talk about it and feed off the scraps off social media, it's a little bit tough. So I'm really looking forward to the real stuff coming back off when we start doing our match build-ups and our watch-alongs, our match reactions and stuff like that here on OnlyLeedsBros. But yeah, just a little side note. Thanks for sticking with us through this transfer window, and there hasn't been an awful lot to talk about. Underwood's ability, I think liability maybe, or his ability if things don't improve. Yeah, look, I think he's done a good job today, and if he can kind of finish it off, I think we'd kind of let him away with it. He's done decent so far. Kershaw says, you can see why so many deals get done on deadline day. Players all over waiting for the best deals for them. Exactly. It's always going to be the way, Kershaw, isn't it? Like dominoes left to fall. Some people are kind of, it's like a game of poker, Dylan, isn't it? Hold your cards close to your chest. Hopefully, that someone makes a first move and then everything kind of starts to fall. So hopefully it does soon. A lot of people saying Sunderland are getting quality players in, but they have seen them in pre-season results. If Leeds United had those results, it would be Fark out calls. That's fair. That's fair. And we always going to say pre-season's nothing to go by, Dylan, when we going to win games. But if we lose games, we'd be up in arms, wouldn't we?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, Robbie says, if I was El Khannouss, I'd choose the town. Simple as that. Not good for us, but there it is. There's reality. Yeah. I think that's fair, mate. I think if it's true about Newcastle being in there, I'm sure they're going to get him. There's no way he's going to come to Leeds. Robbie says, Calvert-Lewin is the bottom of the barrel for me. Yeah, it kind of feels like a bit underwhelming, doesn't it? Let's hope we have more luck then, as Leeds should have won that. Yeah, they should have, buddy. Michael says here, if we miss out on El Khannouss, obviously Harvey Barnes will be freed up. Will be a good alternative. I'd love him. I just genuinely, hand on heart, I wouldn't see that one happening, Dylan, would you? I'd love Harvey Barnes because he always scores against us. Every time he plays Leeds, he seems to score. But
every time.
Yeah,
I do like Barnes myself.
Yeah, I think to be higher shooters than that, and I don't know whether he dropped down to Leeds, but I'd love him. Don't get me wrong, I'd absolutely love him. Good evening, lads. Evening. Thanks for popping in on your Monday night. Paul O'Connell here says, can you see Harry Gray getting competitive minutes early on this season? I think he's looked lively even within the limited minutes that he has been given. Yeah, look, I'd like to see him, and obviously very much like Archie, you could see him coming on there, and he has a bit of bite about him, Dylan, doesn't he? And he's a young lad, and probably a little bit naive, and that should be a good thing. They kind of play with, no fear. They go out there looking to kind of prove themselves. So it's good at that young age. But yeah, look, I'd personally like to see Harry Gray get a couple of minutes on the pitch. But obviously, it's just solely going to depend on what way Leeds United season goes, Dylan, isn't it? Whether he's going to be in the fray for, kind of battening down the hatches, and against the wind. Like, is he going to get minutes in this team?
Well, I think if the way Eddie Gray has been piping him up, I don't know who told me about here before that supposedly Eddie Gray rates him better than Archie, so potentially, and he is young, as you said, he gives that little bit of bite. I like him, and definitely, I think he'll get minutes. I think he'll get a good few minutes this season. Yeah,
I'd like to see that as well. I really would love to see that. Leeds have done a great job. RE recruitment, want a few more, agreed, but they deserve our respect, says Pierre. Yeah, I think so as well. I think so as well, but we just need to finish it off. Finish it off nice and strong, and I think we'll be happy. In the Premier League, I think it's only 2 loans. I thought it was 3. I could be wrong. I haven't looked too much into the loans, but I thought it was 3, but it could be 2. You could be right on that one, buddy. Transfer deadline day is when you know who's available. Yeah, but the thing is, Michael, Leeds don't usually do deadline day, don't we not? It's just something as Leeds fans that it kind of feels like it's for every other club across the country than it is for Leeds. Every time it's deadline day, it's just, it feels like Leeds are never going to do anything on the window apart from selling maybe a couple of players. Surely Leeds can see that, but this is Leeds looking blind as usual. No, I disagree, John. I wouldn't say they're looking blind. You've heard Fark in the both post matches after Villarreal and after AC Milan. He's well aware what's needed in this team, and some of the articles that's coming out from Graham Smith and the local journalists are saying the same thing as well. So they're well aware of what's happening. And look, it's one thing being aware, but it's another thing getting it done, Dylan, isn't it? Whether they can get it sorted.
I was laughing at the name.
Thought you weren't coming back to Leeds. Love it.
Sorry, I just went off track there to see it. Just like giggling to myself.
Rusty Tinkan Eddie says it's happened before. We've signed players close to deadline day, and players have just broken into our team 2 or 3 games into the season, and it worked out. Yeah, hopefully it does again, buddy. But yeah, it's just as Leeds fans, we always kind of just get a bit reactionary and a bit kind of a bit of anxiety when things aren't going as well and things are a little bit quiet. We all have baked the cake now. All we need is to add the icing sugar with the cherry on the top. Then we can cook, as the youngsters say these days. Then we can, as the youngsters, we can cook.
He has me starving. Love it, Jam. Love
it. Skip says here, I hope I'm wrong, but I'm feeling that the 49ers are waiting to see how we do against Everton before splashing the cash on a 9 and an attacking midfielder or a winger.
That's not a bad shit.
I'd hope not, Dylan.
I hope not either, but I'm saying
that would be very
right.
naive.
I think he's right, to be fair.
Be very naive, Dylan.
It is.
Very, very naive. Even if we beat Everton 3-0 convincingly, then I don't think that couldn't put the blinkers on you, saying that we don't need a striker or, we don't need an attacking player. I disagree with that. Look who Everton's got in as well, in Dewsbury Hall, and Jack Grealish going there as well. I'm not saying Leeds should have went in them waters, but, there is recruitment out there, so yeah, I still think we will beat Everton just with the whole.
Look, we said it before.
Back in Road on Monday night, but yeah, I shouldn't put the blinkers on us. I don't think we should go by that.
We've definitely said it before. The 49ers definitely move quietly, and it is quiet at the last. And the last time, I think we got 3 or 4 signings in the door. I think they're waiting for the pre-season to end, and then they're gonna move silently now. I'd say by Friday, Thursday, bookmark it now, I'd say we'll have another player in the door.
I hope so. I said this last Monday night streamed out on before Friday. I said I hope I have one or two in before Friday, and it just didn't happen. So I'll say the same again. Hopefully this before Friday night's live stream, that will hopefully have one or two in the door, and I have to be right at some stage. Not just yes, John. I think we'll be fine, but yeah, I'd say so as well. What else have we got here? Ricky says if Newcastle get BK El Khannouss, I think their fans will be very underwhelmed getting a championship player with their status at Champions League. They should be aiming much higher. Yeah, fair. Yeah, fair. Maybe I think if you're looking at it there from a Newcastle point of view, they'd be looking at that. But then I was on Spurs social media today. Their accounts on Spurs are saying they'd love to get him. And look at I think his ceiling is very high. Then I think at 21, if you can pick him up now for so-called 25 to 30 million, I think it's an absolute bargain, because I think he could easily be one of them players. If he does hit that ceiling, he could easily be 50, 60 million in a couple of years' time. He is very, very high. So, yeah, I suppose if you're looking at it from a Newcastle point of view and the players that they're kind of looking at, yeah, I suppose that's true. John Pepper says silence is golden. Yeah, let's hope so, buddy. Let's hope so. If that is the case and they are waiting to see how we play against Everton, then I would be worried. But I can't see it being that case, to be honest. Yeah, I wouldn't think so. I wouldn't think the 49ers would be that naive to have the blindfold over them if we beat Everton, thinking that everything's all fine and dandy. We don't need any more. Kershaw says Everton is a very difficult game. Not a given that we win because we're at home. Yeah, no, I'm not saying it's a given, but I just think it's a real chance, Kershaw. I think Elland Road's going to be bouncing Monday night under the lights.
First game.
We know what
necessary to play for.
Yeah, I know. We kind of know what Elland Road's like. And like what you say, Dylan, it's kind of the shackles are off kind of for that first game, aren't they? And I think I'm hoping to see Leeds United to play with a little bit of freedom and kind of go out there and do their job. I would expect us to win, and I don't think that's being fully naive. And then obviously you look after that, then Arsenal away and then Newcastle, and we really kind of get into it then. But I think that first game is a real chance to kind of put down the marker and get the season off to a good start. Definitely not a given that we win, but I think we've a good chance of winning the game with the squad we do currently have. Stephen Bourne says the 49ers Underwood and Fark know what we need. Know what we need where we need it, and we are obviously in some cases we aren't getting our first choices, but we did get Stack, so we can go again. Dylan, what would you think of that?
I love Stack. I'm being honest with you. I just 110%. I genuinely think that's just a difficult time to see, and towards the end of the window.
Yeah.
Pre-season wrapping up, just a lot going on at the minute, and let's be honest, they didn't get the players that they wanted, and horrible to say, but they had to go back to the drawing board. And now with the drawing board, like say the likes of El Khannouss now, it maybe potentially he's not playing game at Leeds, and now they're looking down the pecking order again. So it could be simply just that, lads. At the end of the day, so you can't really blame them for trying to a certain degree. But I agree with what you said there, and I think up until now, I think the window's actually been very good. We're just missing, as you said, the pieces of the puzzle. But I agree with Stephen.
Yeah, I think we just need more of it, Dylan, isn't it? That's kind of my feel of it, is just finish it off now. You've done the hard work, so don't let it go to waste. Let's move on from El Khannouss, Dylan, because I think it's I could probably see his future being sewn up fairly quick. I know he played for Leicester the weekend. Leicester are obviously going to be reluctant to let him go, but if that release clause is triggered in the next 24, 48 hours, I can't see him come to Leeds. I'd be very, very surprised if he does. I'm more or less leaning to the side that he's probably 90% not coming to Leeds United, and if he does, I'd be absolutely over the moon. I'd be delighted about it, but I just can't see it the way things are looking at the minute, where obviously Spurs interested, Crystal Palace there, Newcastle in there now as well. I can't see it happening. But look, we will keep a close eye, and if that does happen, we'll obviously let you know as soon as we can. Dylan, let's move on and talk about a new rumour and a new player that we haven't spoke about this transfer window is Nicolas Gonzalez from Juventus. Dylan, this was reported by Graham Smith from the YEP that Leeds United are interested in Juventus wide man Nicolas Gonzalez. We have heard of this name before as Leeds fans. Good couple of years ago, he was linked under Marcelo Bielsa. Of course, we didn't get that one done at the time. He went on, played for Juventus. Stats aren't outstanding, but not too bad either. Decent player, Dylan, in his prime, 27. He's very, very versatile. Very, very versatile player. And again, we know this is the type of player that Daniel Farke really likes, and obviously Bielsa likes that type of player as well. Predominantly plays out on that right wing, but can play the attacking midfield role, has played right back, has played left wing, and has done a few stints up front as well. So he's an all-rounder. He's an all-rounder. He can deal with a little bit of everything. Again, Dylan, this is one of them where it's being reported by local journalists, so there has to be something behind it. I'm sure the club is drip fed this to Graham Smith to kind of say, look, put this out to the fans, let them know that this is the the pool that we're shopping in at the minute, Dylan. Look at whether again this one comes off, it's going to be remain to be seen. But again, to be linked with players like this at this quality, again, it'd be another one. It'd be another one that I would like.
Yeah, definitely. Look, I've done a bit of digging into him, mostly just to see what type. Look, it's Juventus, and kind of gives you that kind of oomph in a player. He's very good at stretching out the defences. He's explosive pace, but he's the type of like in short distances, so he doesn't dominantly just bombing up the pitch. It's more just breaking down the defence and wearing and tearing them down. 1v1 dribbling, very good. That's definitely a player that we're definitely looking for, similar to Solomon last season with his dribbling and his cutting in, cutting out sort of narrative. His work rate and his pressing as well, his aerial duels in the air, which is definitely good as well. And he's 2-footed, so that's what you like to see. So that's obviously why he can play in all these different positions. Yeah. And I think he would suit to Daniel Farke's squad. Last thing
it gives a different dimension then as well, then, because we obviously know we have that with Willie Nanto as well. Like he can more or less play across that front three if we're going to go to 4-2-3-1, and he could be a player that could interchange as well. We've seen Ramazani can play off both sides as well. So I love that personally. I like that when you kind of have a front three there that can kind of interchange. You can both go out to the wings. It really keeps the opposition then thinking of who's going to go where, who's going to play here, and you can swap it up through the game fluidly as well, and it would work good as well. Look at again, Dylan, whether it's a player that we do get, who knows, but I would be very, very excited about this. And Pierre says that sounds exciting. Is that verified? Just from Graham Smith, buddy. So he kind of verified that Leeds have got a bit of interest. No real kind of reported fee or if Leeds are going to go in with a bid for him, but they've obviously have shown interest in him. But again, Dylan, it just shows that Leeds are looking at this type of player. Your El Khannouss. We had Buenanotte last week, who is definitely not going to happen. He's going to go to Dortmund. Nicolas Gonzalez is here as well. So it's it's good to see Leeds looking at these type of players. Michael says Argentinian Stuart Dallas. Yeah,
do you know
Nicolas Dallas, we'll call him.
I looked up, you look up on Wikipedia, you can see certain players, what they're similar in their youth to compare to a certain player, that's retired potentially. This fella here was supposedly similar to Timo Werner and Di Maria. So, but look, take it with a pinch of salt. I just, from my own doing, I was going, what type of similar kind of football does he play to, a past player? And this is what I was told. So, but I like Stuart Dallas. I think Stuart Dallas makes more sense.
Yeah, we'll go with that then. Rusty Tinkan said, not read into it myself, but my mate from work, Liverpool fan, thinks we're going for Ben Doak. Yeah, we reported that last week. We kind of had her saying Ben Doak, good player, but is he what Leeds United need right now? In a push for survival, I'm not too sure. Very young, I think he's 18, 19 years of age, so I'm not too sure on that one. I'd rather someone a bit more kind of established and in their prime, and in fairness, that kind of seems to be what the 49ers have gone for this season, isn't it, Dylan? Is players that are coming into their prime years, and obviously 12 foot nothing like as well. So we've had a distinct sort of approach to this window, and I'm not sure about the Ben Doak. I'd like him on loan. I think 20 million for a young player at 19 is a little bit too much. If we can get him on loan, I'd 100% that have him.
He's not guaranteed first team football either, like, let's be honest with you.
No.
I know the competition's there, but you'd kind of want someone like Gonzalez here. I'm not saying him preferably, but just that kind of a bit more what would you say, experience. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for, sorry. A bit more experience, and I know he's coming into his kind of later years, but I still think he can offer a lot to Leeds. Now, I'm not saying go buy him. There's a lot of other players, linked to it as in rumours, but I mean, I think I'd rather Gonzalez over Doak for now.
Yeah, I think so. Joshua says Juve need the cash to make their own signings. I do feel Gonzalez is a little bit too ambitious. Mind would love him though. Yeah, I would as well. And then counter to that, Paul Kershaw says they signed him with an obligation to buy, and they're already trying to offload him as well. Yeah, fair. Look at who knows what's in behind that. Quick question: did any of the players from Villarreal or AC Milan catch your eye that maybe we could go and try and get? I'll take Luka Modric that was on the bench for AC Milan the weekend. I'll definitely take him. He didn't fancy himself. Suppose I heard Modric was called back for the last couple of minutes to go on, and he said no, like leave it. I don't think he fancied coming up against Stack, Tanaka and Ampadu. He just said no way.
You would have got smashed over. That's why
they'd put me into early retirement as well. But yeah, look, I think anyone that they definitely have the quality. Don't they? Villarreal Champions League club as well. So, Dylan, let's move on and talk about, again, another very loose one is Dominic Calvert-Lewin. A couple of weeks ago, this was kind of spelled, should Leeds go in for? Wasn't really kind of a report on it, but it was said, would this be a player Leeds United would go for? We know the situation with Dominic Calvert-Lewin. We know when he's fit and firing and ready, he's a very, very good player. I think he's had a couple of caps for England. If I'm right, I think it's 12 caps for England, I think. I read earlier on, but we know he's a good player, Dylan, when fit, but very much like Patrick Bamford, Dylan, he's had a lot of injuries. He's had his fair share of injuries. Everton haven't renewed his contract. Reports as well that he has been. Leeds United have inquired about him. They are keeping an eye on him with the striker situation. If Muniz doesn't happen, he is a free agent, Dylan. He would be free in an ideal world, and kind of just spitballing here, we've seen Daniel Farke with injury-prone players getting them back on the pitch. I think a fully fit and firing Dominic Calvert-Lewin, I'd 100% take him at Leeds, but again, it feels a little bit risky, Dylan, even though it is a free, because we've done the same thing with Nemechi, who was a free and an injury-prone player. What do you make of this one?
No, they said they're going for a star quality striker, and Calvert-Lewin is not one for me. Free or not, I'd like to stay away from this one. I think he's too injury prone. We can't be looking back. You're looking at a younger Patrick Bamford, let's be honest with you. I know he's a different player, but I mean, he's injury prone, and now those players that we've got that are injury prone, like Nemechi. But I'm simply going based off what the 49ers and, what the YEP said, or, just journalists in general, that the 49ers are going for a star signing. Calvert-Lewin, isn't it?
Yeah. I agree, then. I think we've heard some reports that we're still looking for two strikers. And if we went and we got Rodrigo Muniz and we brought Dominic Calvert-Lewin in, Farke could work as magic with him, I'd be very happy dealing with that front four. You're talking Pirro, Nemechi, Calvert-Lewin and Muniz like that. I think that's very good. I think we'd all be very happy with that. But I think if it solely comes down to just Calvert-Lewin, then I worry. You've Joe Pirro, then we know his injury record is decent, but we've got Nemechi over the last 18 months, hasn't been good. Remains to be seen how fit he's going to be for Leeds this season. Then you have Calvert-Lewin, who always seems to be injured, Dylan, all the time as well. So again, it feels like a bit of a punt in the dark. I think if we're going to go for him, we still need that, that number 9, that marquee signing to go with it as well. I think this alone would feel very underwhelming.
100%. I agree. Yeah, look, if they get a star sign like Muniz or someone else, then you could say, fair enough. You can bring him in on a free. You do a job. And then the same thing again. What I always keep saying, I shout about it all the time. That competition. If he does get his injury kind of record back on track and he is fit, they're all fit. Say they'll be all fighting for places, and that's what you want. You want that bite week in, week out. But yeah, if it was just Calvert-Lewin to come in the door against Pirro and Nemechi, it's a bit underwhelming. It's basically not what we've been told that we were getting as a marquee signing. One, you got him on a free, you've got another one on a free. Where's the marquee signing? So for me, it would be a bit of a letdown.
Yeah. Wayne says here, DCL wage demands are far too high. Yeah, I'd imagine so. I think I looked into it. I think he's about 100 grand that Everton. Leeds aren't going to give him that. Now look, obviously the news came out that he has sacked his agent as well, and reports this morning that he's already spoken to 3 Premier League clubs. Are Leeds one of them Premier League clubs? Look, I suppose we'll find out over the next couple of days. There must be something in it, because it was reported by Isaac Smith from Leeds Live, who's been very quiet over the last couple of days. He has come out and kind of said this out of nowhere, so I'm not too sure if there's much truth behind this one, but there must be some sort of, they have him in consideration if there hasn't been an exact approach from him or any kind of talk. So let's get a couple of the thoughts then on Dominic Calvert-Lewin. So Joshua says, massive no to Dominic Calvert-Lewin, a fantastic scoring record, struggles with injury, big wages, give it 2 years, he'll be another Bamford. Yeah, fair, yeah. Hard to disagree with that. A very good player when fit and firing, but unfortunately he's made of chocolate. Yeah, that's what I think. If you had it, and look, it wasn't too long ago. I think it was 3 or 4 years ago. He was linked with a big move to Arsenal as well. Arsenal were looking to make him the number 9 striker. So that there is a player in there, Dylan. As you said, he's just being plagued with injuries. If Farke work his magic again on an injury-prone player and I could sort it out and get him on the pitch, you know, for half of the Premier League games. I think it would be decent along with a decent striker, but yeah, it feels like a bit of a risk. Evening, lads. A fit Dominic Calvert-Lewin, yes, but an unfit would be straight to the Patrick Bamford replacement. Yeah, exactly. Everyone's saying the injuries. Yeah, so we're all more or less on the same sort of thinking about Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Dominic Calvert-Lewin and even Antonio might not be terrible, but only on the pay as you play, providing that we don't get in first choice. Can't see it personally. Yeah, look, Antonio was linked as well with Leeds today as well. There's nothing credible behind the Antonio one. It's just spitball, and we know he's not going to be signing a contract at West Ham. He is going to be moved on. He's 35 as well, lads. I think, okay, if you're asking me if I had to choose between Calvert-Lewin or Miguel Antonio, I think you'd have to go for Calvert-Lewin. If we had to pick one between them, Antonio being 35, Dylan, that's a bit. So in the 35-year-old.
I didn't know he was 35.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was 35.
And then obviously, look, obviously horrendous what happened as well, the massive accident as well, where he was a very, very lucky man, and it was great to see him back on the pitch and all as well. So I just think even without all that, Dylan, just look, back in his day, I remember he used to always bully Leeds, but yeah, for me, Antonio would be a no. I'd rather Calvert-Lewin. Over Antonio.
I just don't want an injury-prone player. I want someone that's going to, let's be honest, one of those little sparks.
Rusty Tinkan says I'd rather keep Bamford than Calvert-Lewin as well. Yeah, but given both their injury records as well, it's I can understand your thinking from that, Eddie, 100%, buddy. He was good under Angelotti, then went downhill from there. Yeah, he really did, buddy. He really did. I seen actually a funny tweet earlier on, but so now someone posted it with the link when Leeds were linked with Calvert-Lewin. He says, I can see it now, Leeds getting hockey 2 or 3-0 at Elland Road, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin walking out the back of the West Stand in a skirt and a handbag. Just like Leeds fans would just lose their mind. Like, just got a funny image in my head of that. It was
I've got the strangest image in my head, honestly.
Yeah. Pierre says, do we think Muniz is still an option? Fulham on 50 million, is that fair?
No.
All the reports that it is, Pierre, and it's hard to kind of fathom if Leeds are going to trump up 50 million. You know, for him, we know to start the window, I think it was in the 32.5 we went in with a bid for Muniz plus the bonus and the add-ons and that, and it was obviously rejected by Fulham. It's supposedly between 40 and 50 million is what Fulham are looking at. Fulham are in the window for another striker. Does that free up Muniz, or is it there for competition? I'm not too sure. Also, don't forget, Newcastle were talking about Muniz as well as a potential replacement if Isak does go to Newcastle. So, you know, that could snooker us. If Liverpool do come in with the 130, 140 million at Newcastle looking for Isak, they could easily pull the trigger on Muniz, Dylan. So, but by report, Pierre, that we are still in there. We're just waiting to see what happens. Again, whether it does or not, it's anybody's guess, Dylan. You wouldn't be putting your house on it, would you?
No. Definitely not this late in the window. I think 50 million's a lot of money, lads.
Yeah,
look,
what
he
Wayne
looks
says
like a
here,
good player.
Yeah. Some of his goals, 100%, Dylan. Look what Arthur says. Well, we spoke about this, Dylan, so many times about 50 million for me. Just feels wild for a player that
I think I was let down. Yeah, I think I was let down by his stats, and when I heard 50 million, I think potentially when I heard 30, whatever the bid was, I was a bit, lads, he was all right in the head, and then when I heard 50, I was like, just leave it then, just hang on to him.
He's still young enough to take a punt if we can arrange a decent pay as you play. Oh yeah, I wouldn't be far against that if that's what it look. And as a free as well, Dylan, that there is a part of me kind of saying if it works, it'd be fantastic. It would if you get him on the pitch, you get him playing, he could contribute. We know how good he is in the air as well. That's something we've missed from strikers, Dylan, over the last couple of years at Leeds. We haven't really got that height in the box. So if it did work out, if you could guarantee signing him and he was going to be fit, I'd 100% take him. But that's obviously the reason why he is a free agent, because I think a fully fit and firing Dominic Calvert-Lewin isn't getting let go of Everton, or if he is, then he's probably looking upwards. There's talks about United. I did see Mark Goldbridge as well. I'd seen a part of his video today saying that Man United are still murmurs of them going for Dominic Calvert-Lewin as well. And again, I'm sure if United come calling, I'm sure he's going to go there. So yeah, there's a lot of ifs and buts still in about all these as well, isn't it? Because there's nothing really kind of credible behind it. It's all very sort of rumours and you know, loans and stuff like that. So yeah. Having said that, Dilwich seems highly rated, so I'd take him as well. I really would, yeah. I'd take him as well. Let's see, what else have we got here? BMG says, Dominic Calvert-Lewin feels like a player to me who will retire at 30 due to injury. Yeah, fair.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, fair. Antonio would have been okay for a season, but the accident, makes it a huge risk. Yeah, I think so. I think so as well, buddy. If you get Dominic Calvert-Lewin, then I'm done. Why do we seem to be going for Crocs? Yeah, I would, as I said, I wouldn't mind if we get something else with it, but that's fair, buddy. Muniz ain't worth 50 million right now. I'd avoid Muniz unless we get our other targets first. Yeah, it seems like Muniz is the target though, buddy. That's what's being said. So, he seems to be the number one target for Leeds United in that striker position. Muniz isn't worth anything over 13 million. He had one decent season. Yeah,
I agree.
I think we're all kind of agreeing on this. Yeah, all agreeing on this one. I watched the highlights of the Creator Cups. We need to sign Matty Foster and Gerald Lynch. Yeah, I wouldn't be bad, buddy. Yeah, Matty Foster, the back post, just tapping it in, and Gerald Lynch, just Jack Charlton and everybody over it would be very nice. Where do we hear now? Michael Pollard is in the building. Evening, Michael. DCL might be useful signing if we need spare parts. Kneecap tendon, big toe. Might come in handy. Otherwise, he'll never be consistently available. Spare parts. That was a good comment like that.
That was.
Not the only time we'll be saying that, John Pepper. What else have we got? Jam says, was Edgar Canny up to these days? Probably still sitting on the bench. We in for Simicast. No, we were.
Ask Joe B.
You should go ask Joe Blackburn about that one. I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting on the sign about that one. But no, we're not. Not at the minute, buddy. West Yorkshire Retro Gamer says Muniz might be a target, but he wouldn't make him my primary signing. Hence why I said get him after we've signed our right back, attacking midfielder, and two wingers. Yeah, that's fair. But it depends. If it seems to be a bit of a divide in the fan base. I actually should still get a poll and just see what it is. That half of the fan base kind of saying we need to go get a striker, the other half is saying no, we need full back cover, and it kind of just depends what side you look at it. But I'd probably be more along that line of thinking, Dylan, is that the full back cover for me is like I want to get that sorted, because seeing that the weekend with Isaac Smith and right back just
look, he's all know my preference on Pirro. I do think we still need another striker. I don't think Pirro's going to be the main man this season. I think he's going to surprise a lot of people, if I'm being honest with you, but I would rather get the full back situation sorted before, if it was the choice that had to be at it.
Wayne says, if Paddy doesn't move, what does Fark do with him? 70k a week to train with the under 23s. Yeah, that's massive. Myself and Dylan were speaking about that.
I'm not going to sleep now. So
yeah. Yeah. Who knows, buddy? Obviously, look, that's a massive question. Actually, you don't want Paddy Bamford there, do you? And you're hoping that he would probably kind of take a bit of a moral high ground, Dylan, wouldn't you hear, and kind of say, look, right, let's just terminate the contract, let's move on, I want to go play football, rather than thinking of the money side of it and sitting in the stands earning 70k a week. You would like to think that's what he would deal with if it comes down to that. I also did speak to a Leeds fan in the Camden as well that is very much of the opinion, if Leeds United don't get anything sorted, that we could very easily see Daniel Fark coming out in one of his videos and saying Patrick's done well, he's training well, his injury's good, we're going to try reintegrate him back into the team, which to me, my jaw dropped, but it dropped because it doesn't feel like it could be unlikely. That would not surprise me.
No, it wouldn't surprise me either. Definitely, I 100% agree. Look, you all know how I feel about Bamford. I just wanted Bamford to go out on a high. I think if Bamford had to, you could say, get himself back into this team, I just think you're more or less putting all the pressure on Pirro and the Meche. The Meche's injury record. Will Pirro do well in the Premier League? It's a lot of ifs and buts.
Ian Ward says here, we need opposition sorted going into a busy 3 weeks. It's going to be a very, very busy 3 weeks. And what's rumoured is Leeds are still looking at 5. Whether 2 or 3 of them are going to be permanents and 2 or 3 of them loan, who knows? But the rumour is that Leeds still are looking at 5. Simicast going to Forest, yeah, I'd say so. And I think with good months in there as well, it'd be strange to sign a solid kind of left back as well with him. Yeah. You kind of need that kind of James Justin sort of best player that can kind of play both sides, like what Byram does, can kind of cover the both sides of the fence. So I think it'd be strange if we signed Simicast as well. So yeah, I can't see him come to Leeds. Don't think he will be. Took a 60% pay cut for year 2, mate. Was that Bamford, was it? That took that? I don't know if he did. I know obviously his wages dropped when he went back down to the Championship, and I think now that we've got promoted again, it goes back up. Can you guys schedule a special show on the 2nd of September dedicated to John Pepper eating humble pie? Possibly me. We'll pencil that in. Yeah, I'll pencil that in the book. No problem at all, buddy. We'll sort that out for 70k is 70k. Would anybody move job for less? He holds all the cards. He does. Yeah, 100%. As I said, you would just like to think he'd want to play football of what's left in his career, buddy, wouldn't you? So yeah, we'll see. Thoughts on Good Munson, lads? Yeah, we didn't even speak about much about Good Munson. I actually really like him, Jam. I do have to say. I think the more he gets integrated into this team, the more he gets used to the players he's playing with and Fark's type of play. I think he's going to be a good signing, Dylan. He looks good going forward. Well able to defend. He's cautious of defending as well, which is time with Fairpo. We didn't see that. But what was your thoughts on Good Munson the weekend and probably all over the pre-season, and how looking forward to you seeing him?
Yeah, he controls the ball really well. There's no panic in him. That's why, there's no pressure on the ball. He doesn't seem to, want to get rid of it or want it very quickly. It's just nice and easy. I think with I'd say Schmidt at times. Oh no, not Schmidt. Sorry. At one stage, Nanto. I did say, you'd see him when he was screaming for it. Should have done the overlap and he didn't. Would have been nice to see him get an assist or potentially even a goal. It's just to kind of give the, that's the way Fark likes to play the wing backs or the full backs up. Potentially just give him that kind of bit of confidence going into the Premier League that he can do it, and the players just around him just haven't really get it. But I thought he done very well. I really did. I thought he defended very well. He controlled the ball very well, and I like him. Looking forward to seeing a bit more of him.
Yeah, me too. Rajiv, hopefully I don't butcher that, buddy. Rajiv says, evening lads, greetings from India. Cheers for first time I think we've had that deal. I think we had Australia, New Zealand and that, but definitely India is a new one. We signed 4 players in the final 10 days last season. Hope we get this sorted, but silence is killing me. It's 2 a.m. here and I am worrying if Harrison starts. Don't be worrying, buddy, but thanks very much for tuning in all the way from India at 2 a.m. listening us to Irish lads chatting absolute pony here. So cheers for popping in, buddy. Thanks for your comment. I'm hoping for a double-sided full-back, younger version of Boyram. That would be ideal. He's nailing it. BMG just talks sense all the time. He just speaks our language all the time. I did like Good Munson. He looked really solid. Yeah, me too. Looks really, really good. And everyone's saying as well, Good Munson looks decent. And I think the more he gets into this team, Dylan, I think he's going to be solid. Looks like he is a decent whip on him as well. There was a couple of times in the weekend where I would have liked to see him just risk that ball into the box, and there was times where he put his foot and it came back in. Not in a bad way, but I would like to see him just test that ball across the box a little bit more. Because I think, by the looks of any time I've seen him kind of whipping that ball, he seems to kind of have that whip on him. So I'd like to see him put the ball on the box a bit more. So we'll see. Looks assured on the ball, doesn't he? Which is great. Exactly. Yeah, really, really good. Really, really good cover for Junior Firpo. So hopefully he does well. Good Munson looks solid. Everyone's saying the same thing. Yeah. BMG Leeds go for players using Zimmer frames. John, you're really panicking, buddy. You're really panicking. Don't need it, buddy. Make yourself a couple of tea and have a digestive. It'll be all right. Definitely like Good Munson. No issues at left back if he stays fit. Obviously is the big one.
Stop.
Pierre says the silence is killing us at all. It is, buddy. It really is. That's the 49ers. They rock like that, don't they? Funny how everyone is clamouring for Smith to get game times, and then after 2 games he's written off. The truth is probably somewhere in between. Yeah, I'd agree, buddy. I think, look, if maybe we got a bit of game time earlier on last season and Fark maybe showed him a little bit of confidence, then maybe I think against AC Milan you could see he's a player that has one foot out the door 100%, probably low on confidence, probably just wants to get the loan move sanctioned and kind of start the new season because he knows he's not wanted here. So yeah, you're right there. John Pepper says bring Sniffer Clark out of retirement. Yeah, what's he up to these days? Get him back in. Go get Trippier before Monaco do as well. Yeah, set piece as well. Then set pieces. Dylan, well, I'm just gonna have a look through some of the comments here and pull up any of the good ones. But have a little talk there about Stack taking set pieces against AC Milan, because it was blowing my mind. A man of his height, what's he, 6'4", 6'4", taking our set pieces, like it just feels like now, like surely we could put Dan James or Good Munson or someone on the set pieces and have him in the box, so he'd be a real threat.
Well, I think first things first, we need to get a set piece coach. That's for sure. I just think that was backwards. If I'm being honest with you, it's the tallest player on the pitch whipping in a ball is mad. Now, don't get me wrong. I thought they were decent enough, if I'm being honest with you. But
yeah,
you just want someone with, as you said, Trippier, that knows exactly where to put the ball every single time. He has a whip on him, but you want him into the box. getting his head to that, and he can score a goal. We can see that. We've seen that. But I just think, I think last season, I think Stroke scored 3 goals with his head. Am I right? Or 2? Could have been. You want that kind of. It's something that we were definitely lacking last season, and probably even the season before, from set pieces, mostly corners. Just get the head on the ball, and then 9 times out of 10, if the ball was whipped in, it was like real deep at the back post and going out playing. We've seen that obviously with Rodon. He tried to get his head on it, ball flopped, and they just cleared it. So I think his set pieces are so crucial. They're, as you said, they're the little 1%ers in a game that can really dig us out of a hole. Especially say last minute winner. Let's be honest with you. You need to be on point straight away from the get go. And I think with Stack, he can be a real threat from corners, especially. So, yeah, I just think it's madness seeing him taking set pieces, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah, I agree with you then, yeah. It was one thing just frustrating me, big man like him. And it's more so frustrating him because they're obviously professional footballers, and you're looking at the likes of Dan James, obviously doesn't have the height. You're like, surely he can put a ball in the box. Good Munson as well, obviously looks like he has a decent left foot on him as well. So just let him take it, get Stack in there. He's big, he's strong, he's powerful. He looked like he really bullied that Milan midfield at times as well. So it's like, just get him in the box there, with Strike, with Rodon, with Bial, get the tall lads in there, because essentially that's what we bought him for his presence in there. So yeah, hopefully that doesn't continue through the season, because that will drive me mad seeing him on set pieces. Rajiv says, one thing for sure, Bogle's absence now looks scary. Hopefully Gabby forms a partnership with Willie, or largely as of now Harrison being floated as wing back. I take Pascal or even Gruev for that as well. Yeah, but, it was an interesting one seeing Jack Harrison come on at left back. I think it was probably more so about just him getting minutes. I'm hoping Fark doesn't see him as left back cover for Goodmunson, but yeah, who knows? I think Goodmunson was taking the left footed set pieces. Yeah, he did. I think he taken a few of them, but then Stack was taking a lot of them as well. It was really frustrating. He's been great on defensive set pieces, has Stack, which means that we want him in the box when we are attacking. Yeah, 100%. Apparently we have a set piece coach according to Stack. I actually did hear that, and I didn't pick up on a fair play to you, and I did hear that in his post match as well. It was funny as well, his post match, Dylan. He was asked about the goal, and he admitted that it was a shot cross, that it wasn't just a direct shot. He was just like he was told by the set piece coach to just whip it in towards that back post, and if you get a touch, if not, but always aim towards that back post, and you have a chance of it going in. So he admitted that it was a
great goal,
bit of a shot cross, but yeah, class. Stroke scored 2 in one game. He did, yeah. That was against Sunderland, buddy. Yeah, that was against Sunderland. Stroke's excellent for a set piece. 4 or 5 goals from him. Yeah, he knows how to head a ball. I think Rodon got 1, didn't he? Didn't Rodon score a header? Who did Rodon score against last season? Dylan? Definitely think he got a header against.
Was it Hull?
I'm not too sure. I remember Rodon got more, but I think we need more out of Rodon, don't we? On attacking set piece, 100%. Justin Rose shows his fortitude last night. He's 6'3", might be a bit too old at 45 now, going to the Ryder Cup in September. So maybe one to avoid out Justin Rose. Yeah, maybe so. Rajiv says, lads, do you think it's sorted from the Arsenal game? Bial and Longstaff start. I think Tanaka, Stack and Ampadu formed the midfield. Yeah, I like the dynamic in there with Tanaka, Stack and Ampadu, and obviously when we signed Stack, we were obviously all under the thinking that he was going to be that defensive sort of player, but obviously we seen the weekend he was anything but. He was getting forward, and I like the idea of that, Dylan, that all 3 of them can do that defensive thing if we are kind of cut out position and kind of covering each other again. That fluidity that we've talked about in the Premier League as well, that it's not just, it's not rigid, it is very much. And also as well, then, if we are going to revert to the 4-2-3-1, that type of midfield that we have, we can change it around nice and easily as well. So yeah, I'd 100% I'd be up to, for me at the moment, I think against Everton, I think it has to be Tanaka, Stack and Ampadu with the way they performed against AC Milan, and then it's up to Stack then to try and force his way into that starting squad, Dylan, isn't it?
I'm still holding it. I'd love to see Tanaka in the 10.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing that out there. I would, like, if you had Longstaff or Gruev to come in there and Tanaka in the 10 with Pirro, I think it's a no-brainer, lads, I'm being honest.
Yeah.
But look, I'm not a manager.
No, neither. None of us are. We all just have opinions. Don't fancy him personally, but there is a case for Ward Prowse. He has the skills that we lack and not wanted at West Ham. Thoughts, 400 Premier League appearances. Yeah, look, it's set pieces 100%. What a right foot that lad has. He is just unbelievable. I remember went to Southampton game under Jesse Marsh. He scored a free kick towards the south stand, which was just a wow.
I dropped me point.
Oh, it was just unbelievable. And I actually think there was a few claps from around Elland Road from the Leeds fans. It was just an unbelievable free kick.
Scream.
Set piece wise 100%, but I just think probably ability in the open match. I don't think he kind of fit Leeds' style of play, but I think general Dylan set piece. If you could just bring him on to take the set pieces, it'd be fine, 100%. Yeah, Ronan scored against Derby at home. Vober scored the other one. Yes, that's what it was. I knew. Ronan got one. He needs to get more. With how big he is, he definitely needs to get more. Rajiv, yes for Bial, no for Longstaff. Be interesting to see that actually with when Bial is back in. Does he start against Arsenal? Does he stick with Strike and maybe let Bial try and force his way in? Got that wrong. Trippier still in contract to next year. My bad. No bother at all. No bother at all. Thanks for letting us know. Agree with you, but I keep hearing Longstaff starts from many of the fan chats. I don't know. I think it's up to him to kind of force his way into the team, Dylan, isn't it? That's what we want. We obviously want. We said at the very last stream that we done, Dylan, after we got promoted, we said that the big one was that midfield. We needed competition in that midfield because we kind of more or less knew that Rodon wasn't going to come back here. We talked about Gruev as well, but we talked about needing to get bodies in that midfield for competition, and we have that in abundance now, don't we? It's really, really good, that midfield shape.
Yeah, I just can't get over the amount of midfielders that we have and good quality players as well. You know, we did with players going the other way. You're talking Gruev. I actually thought Gruev done very well in the pre-season games. Lads, he surprised me an awful lot, if I'm being honest. But that's what you want. You want that. You don't want any of the players dropping their heads. You want competition. I can't say it enough. It just gives the lads that type of, we're in the Premier League, I want to start, I want to play. You know, and like that, you know, Tanaka is phenomenal, Amadou is phenomenal, obviously he's captain. Stack's thrown in there as well, like, so I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving the competition in the midfield.
Yeah. There are enough names being put forward that the 49ers could go under the radar and surprise us. For me, a balanced squad is better than a marquee signing. Yeah, fair, buddy. Yeah, fair. As fans, though, we always want that flashy new toy and the new signing, don't we, pal? I think we get a 10 to give us options with the formation. I think possibly as well, Ian. I think I would not be surprised if we see Buendia coming in on loan. I don't know what it is. I wouldn't be surprised because I think Fark won't fully pull away from that 4-2-3-1. I think we will see it at times this season. Problem with Ward-Prowse would be who does he replace exactly? Yeah, we'll probably lose more than we gain. Yeah, just for the sake of set pieces. In the general game, I think you'd lose a little bit more. I think we'll start with midfield three of Ampadu, Stack and Longstaff. But I would like Tanaka and Gruev. What they can do to you? Yeah, I think Tanaka. What would you go with, Dylan? What would be your midfield three against Everton?
Yeah, no, I think, sorry, I just had to think there. I think Stack, Ampadu and Tanaka. I think Longstaff, like we've seen it, he loves to tackle as well as Stack. But I think Longstaff, you know, kind of second half, you could say, or last few minutes, but last half an hour, you know, just to give us that bite up the tempo a little bit. Because, you know, he has that potential to come on and not necessarily run like a hellish chicken, but he runs after the ball with some sort of pace and heated, agremental kind of in his face, if that makes sense, to win the ball, which we all love. So I think Stack, Ampadu and Tanaka. But if, as I said, preferably, I think I'd love to see Tanaka win the 10.
Nice option with Longstaff there as well. And look what Gruev says here. Gruev gets very little praise, never lets us down, experience of the national team. And I think we all thought when we seen that midfield being blasted with Stack and Longstaff coming in, I think it was on everyone's mind that this was probably going to be the end of Ilya Gruev. And I actually think he's been very good in pre-season. He's knuckled down, he's worked hard, and he looks like he wants to stay at this Leeds United team. So definitely 100% plaudits for him. There is going to be games that we're going to need Gruev as well. He works hard. So nice to have him around the place. I think we might revisit Gus Hamer. Yeah, possibly, maybe so. Yeah, maybe so. Not too sure. Let's see how that one goes. They got thumped the weekend, didn't they? Sheffield United 4-1, 3-1, 4-1. I think it's in there. Buendia is feeling more possible now for some reason. Yeah, I'm the same as well. BMG. I don't know why. Just an inkling. I think Buendia could be one that happens. Ben Johnson says, I think stands we will be doing the George Graham and drawing our on our way to relegation. Yeah, nil alls all over it, Ben. Hopefully not, though. Hopefully not. Agreed. Those three will do a job, says Jonesy. Paddy says, Tanaka, Stack and Ampadu, says Paddy. Smith hasn't been all that bad, just short of game times. He needs a bit of cover because he runs on the wing, says Mike Cat 23. Yeah, I just thought he was poor against AC Milan. I just thought he kept getting caught on that right hand side. He was getting pulled in, and Ampadu was giving him pure belters. Dylan wasn't he? Every time he was getting caught, he was just going absolutely crazy at him. So, yeah, interesting one. He's going to go anyway. I think Leeds are obviously looking for a fullback, and I think he's going to go. So that could be the last game we see him for playing for Leeds, but who knows? Who knows? Rajiv says, I want to see us get a full back sorted out. Boga for sure will pick up yellow cards. Coming to think that I see Stack picking up more yellow cards as well. Still dreading VAR, me too, buddy. But hoping it goes our way. Yeah, that's even a thing that we haven't really spoke about going back to the Premier League, is that now we have VAR thrown into the mix. Obviously, we're going to be back doing watchalongs from Monday night now against Everton. I can already see us celebrating like 2 head cases that we've scored and then it being ruled out for offside or handball or, something.
I mean, choking on some water or something like that. Something stupid like that.
Dillo, is that Dillo
Jam.
saying Ampadu was better than Gruev?
Lads, let's not look. We're not. That was last season, alright. Let's leave it there. I never actually said. If anyone can pull it
You
up,
did?
I never. No, I didn't.
You did?
What I said was Ampadu slows the ball down an awful lot, and I think Gruev gives us that bit more side to side where Ampadu tends to knock it back an awful lot. I also did say I prefer Ampadu in the centre half position, but that's definitely not happening now with the height that we're at the investing in. So, but no, Ampadu is a better player, Cam. Yes, but thanks for just calling me on that.
My comment comes from season we had Crean and Rutter. Everything went through them, easy to cut out, but we were more effective last season with a more balanced option, and a better to get our dressing room as well, wasn't it? So I heard about the dressing room last season was meant to be unbelievable, unbreakable. Apart from Raf, when was the last time that we spent big and it worked out? Georgie was always one for the future. Yeah, true, buddy. It's true. It's always going to throw money at it sometimes and it just never works. You think if you're spending 35 million on a player, it's going to automatically work out. And look what he's doing bits at Brighton as well as Georgie. So, yeah, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Out of all our depth squad, I think that the strongest we are at centre back. Rodon, Strike, Bornell and Bial. Very strong, whichever partnership he plays, I think. Yeah, and don't forget, you can still have Ampadu that can fill in there as well if needs be. If we do get hammered with injuries there, suspensions, we have Ampadu that can go in there as well. So yeah, really, really good cover at the fullback position. Still in the south, leave me. Buendia scored against Villarreal. Good goal. I actually didn't see he did. I must go check that out after this, pal. Thanks for all. Check that one out. Jonesy says, first time we came across your channel, guys. Loving the show tonight. We'll tune in more. Sub. Cheers. Thanks very much for that, Jonesy. And welcome to the Only Leeds Bros crew. Try and remain as balanced as we possibly can. The lads will tell you in here. Sometimes we're not always like that, but yeah, we always try and have a good bit of debate and keep it respectful and stuff like that. So yeah, cheers for subbing, buddy. You do really appreciate it. Back again.
Something just happened. I don't know what happened. The whole screen went blank. It just said something went wrong. Please reconnect the internet. And the internet's not even up. Sorry about that, guys. Don't know what happened there.
It's alright. We were having a great time without you. We're having a great
That's
time.
alright.
Without
I'll go
that
again,
was
yeah. Like,
the best 30 seconds of the stream that we had all night, Dylan.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah.
BMG said there's no way Fark is leaving Ampadu out, and he'd be nuts to leave out Stack. So we'll be those two and either Tanaka or Longstaff with a very slim chance of it being Gruev. Yeah, and look at BMG. It'll be interesting to see with the away games what way he's going to do things, because we did see that last season, didn't we? He obviously favoured a partnership at home and favoured a partnership away from home. So is he kind of thinking that as well, that he might change it up away from home? So you don't know with Daniel Fark. So it'd be interesting to see, but I think we could see a different sort of approach away from home, away games. So we'll see. Couldn't have sum up any better. Dylan Smith is out of his depth. Yeah, class. Buendia has had his top time on the way down now. Not good enough, says Wayne. Yeah, he's had a couple of injuries as well, Wayne. I'd like him though. I'd like him as a bit of cover.
I'd rather Hamer. I'd rather Hamer. If I'm being honest with you, I'd much rather Hamer.
Yeah. I think both of them at their peak, I'd rather Buendia, but yeah, you're probably right now. Yeah, you're probably right. Probably agree with you.
The free kick that Hamer scored, he scored like 1 or 2 free kicks last season, didn't he?
And Anthony Watson says, we can always fall back on Josh Sargent. I see the goal he scored the weekend as well. He closed down the goalkeeper. Keeper hit it off him, hit the post, and then went in. A bit of a mad goal, but yeah, find
Doesn't
it
matter
mad
who
that
you
he still stayed at Norwich. I was sure he wasn't a Gladbach he was meant to be on to. Smith is great at attack, not good at defence, says Pierre. Yeah, I'm seeing that St.
Well,
Gallen as well.
It was the
He's
same
very
with
much in
Fairport
it.
at times, let's be honest. And then, he kind of solved the puzzle.
BMG disagrees, says I'd rather Buendia over Hamer. Hamer would be a disappointing one, although Sargent would be borderline catastrophic. yeah. Amy Clark says congrats on 3,500 subs. Cheers, thanks very much, Amy. Thanks very much for everyone on all the new subs. And again, look, we can't do only Leeds Bros out you guys. Something that we do really enjoy doing. We're not as polished and as knowledgeable as the other channels. We just enjoy talking about Leeds United with you guys. So again, thanks very much for all your support over this last year. It's been quality. I'll let that grenade take just settle. Whoa, what did you say, John?
Yeah, he was going on about the Aberdeen Group F situation.
Yeah. There'd be more than out tonight. There'd be no talk for a week. Thanks, John.
No,
Would you bring back Gilavogi? Not so much as a player, but for the dressing room, sounds like he kept the group together. I'd probably bring him back as a coach if that was maybe a possibility, if that was something that Fark would like to do. Yeah, maybe
I think
so.
Boyerum's going to be that this
I think
season.
Boyerham might, I think Boyerham might be that in the dressing room this year, buddy. Rafinha was only 17 million, amazing deal at the time, but 17 GNA, 30 odd games. Yeah, unbelievable, man. Yeah, playing right wing back and taking throws in under Jesse Marsh. Now he could be a Ballon d'Or winner, so yeah, nice one for that, Jesse Marsh. MB Rodon was the only person not subbed for the Inter Milan game. Yeah, he likes Rodon. Rodon is just Rolls Royce still, and is he never injured? Never ever injured.
The Warrior.
Well, go ahead.
The Warrior. Rodon, the Warrior.
Welsh wizard. Hi bros, we have to be patient. Trust the 49ers, says Dale. Yeah, we tried to, buddy. We tried. That's why we do these streams, because everyone brings us back down to earth. Begbie says, I'd take Antonio from West Ham on a free for a season. I don't know, mate. 35 for me. I think we need a little bit better. That would be underwhelming. Dylan is like a new signing. Dylan just went out and came back in to make it feel like we signed someone. Rodon is
a bit underwhelming.
100%. Rajiv says, are we becoming the rehab specialist? Solomon was well managed. Who knows about Buendia? Might work on a loan. Not sure about a boy. Any other diamonds in the making? Yeah, maybe. Rehab specialist, yeah. Everyone goes to Leeds to get their injury career back on track, apart from Bamford. Chris says, I'm in Australia. Get up at 6 a.m. just to watch you guys. Cheers. Thanks very much for that, Chris.
Thanks very much.
Cheers. Appreciate that, buddy. Lovely comment there. 6 a.m. in the morning. Yeah, you're mad. Absolutely mad, but cheers. Thanks for popping in, pal. Pre-season for Smith has been worrying, but he's barely played, so he will be rusty. James has only missed a few games, and you can clearly see not up to speed. I do expect Smith to go out eventually. Yeah, me too. Yeah, and I agree with James as well. He looked a little bit rusty against AC Milan. Where will Kinnear be sitting on Monday? I have so many answers to that question, but the other one will probably be in the Everton side of the box in the West Stand, and I'm sure he will get a very healthy return back to Elland Road. I've seen a couple of Everton fans saying that they're not too happy with him, Kinnear, going there, but seeing that they're getting their business done now in Dewsbury Hall and Grealish as well, so I'm sure he'd be loved now. I'd rather someone else instead of Hamer and Buendia. But I can't think do better than both of them, in my opinion. You can't think that we can do better than both of them, in my opinion. Yeah, look, but there's not really, look, obviously, you have Khannouss that can play that attack and roll. It doesn't look like it's going to happen, but between the two, yeah, it would probably just edge Hamer for me. Here's hoping Pickford is the first goalie punished by the new rule for time wasting, and we ping in the top corner. Yeah, hopefully. Excuse me. Just as we said, we want a versatile fullback. Maybe we should go for a versatile attacker who can play 10 or the wing. Such player exists. Yeah, well, look at El Khannouss is that. El Khannouss has played that attacking role. He has played off the left-hand side as well. Nicolas Gonzalez is that as well. He plays off the right-hand side but can't play that attacking role. But yeah, I would agree with you as well.
Like El Khannouss, he's young.
Yeah, I'd be up for that. Adam from Leeds that says, great stream, lads. Apologies for being taller than you thought, Dillo. Thanks for the oddly organising my Saturday schedule, as well as I just followed Matty about. Yeah, no bother at all, but it was great meeting you and great chatting to you, Paul, and meeting your missus and all as well. We had an unbelievable day out, so yeah, no bother at all, Paul. Rodon is the new Kiss Norbo in terms of using the head bandage. Yeah, true, actually, yeah. Joe Kiss Norbo. It was reported earlier that Underwood's team said that we can buy from the Champo team weird thing about players rejecting us now is it makes me want to go back. We were the big dogs in the champ. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, big fish in a small pond. Now we're just a fish in a big pond, isn't it, buddy? And looking to try and find our feet. So yeah, agree with that one. Albeit Rodon was also, he's been wearing a finger bandage too. Knackered hand he's been having too. I can't read that out. Yeah. Community Shield worries me. Stonewall pen and not even reviewed. And Allison is off his line for the pen, not reviewed either. Worried that there will be big calls. Yeah, look here. I think, look, as football fans, VAR, look, I could kind of deal with referees getting decisions wrong because, look, obviously we're humans and we know we can get it wrong. But when you have the technology there to get decisions right and we're still getting decisions wrong, Dylan, that's what annoys me about VAR, isn't it? And look, at times, obviously, decisions can go against you, rightfully go against you, and you're like, fine. But when they review VAR situations and they still make the wrong call, that's when fans go mad, isn't it?
Yeah, it's embarrassing. It's actually very annoying, to be fair. I hate VAR. I hate it.
That's what I wanted to say, but you said it for me, pal. Right, Dylan, I think we leave it there over an hour and 20 minutes. We usually only do about 40 minutes, but a very good stream. Really did enjoy that, guys. The schedule will be changing on OnlyLeedsBros over the coming weeks. Obviously, the new season starts now on Monday, so we will have our first match build-up of the Premier League season will be out Saturday morning about 10 and 11 o'clock, so make sure you stay tuned for that. The watchalongs will be back as well on Monday night as well with myself and Dylan. We're always very, very good fun. The two of us bouncing off each other. And we do a halftime fan phoning as well, where we drop the link in the chat. You guys can click the link, come on and give your halftime thoughts and all that as well. So it does be a good bit of crack. And then, of course, then we do our reviews and our player ratings as well. We do player ratings a little bit differently. It's not solely on us. What we do is we send out a Google document. We send it out to you guys, post it all across our social media. You click on the link, you review the players, and then we do a player rating video on it, and then we give the overall score of what the OBL community think of that. So back to the normal schedule. Football is nearly here, Dylan. Really, really looking forward to it. Guys, if you have enjoyed the video, please make sure you're dropping a like on it. Just helps push it out there and get it out there to more people. And of course, if you're new here, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button. Dylan, anything to say before we say goodnight to all these amazing people?
You want to just pop up the old competition there one last time for the new subscribers?
Competition, yeah, no bother at all, sir. Yeah, so OnlyLeedsBros, we are running a competition because we do turn 1 on the 21st of August. So a way of saying thank you to you guys for supporting the channel. We're giving away a Leeds United jersey of your choice, home, away, or the third kit. All you have to do to be in a chance to win is subscribe to the OnlyLeedsBros YouTube channel, retweet the post, or tag a mate. So scan the QR code, bring it across to our X, or if the QR code doesn't work, you can drop down to our description below and head across to our X account there. Winner will be announced live on the 21st of August. We'll get your details and then post it directly to your door. So yeah, again, guys, thanks very much for supporting the channel. It means the absolute world to us, as always. Again, delighted to hit 3,500 subscribers. Now you look great at that graph for the next time. So again, thanks very much. Robbie says, well done, guys. Great stream. Cheers. Thanks very much, Robbie. Appreciate it. Get me on the channel. I'm worth the chat. Yeah, 100%, buddy. 100%. Yeah, will do. John Pepper, for covering the bookies then. BMG and John Pepper having a great time in here tonight. Love it. Excellent podcast, guys. Remember, main cam. We'll try, Pierre. We'll try. I'll keep thinking that now. Every time I get a little bit worked up, I'll keep thinking, what will Pierre say? Cheers, boys, says BMG. QR code deactivated. I have to update that, Chris. Then again, someone did say that the other night, and they weren't sure if it was their phone or not, so we told them to go get the link. So yeah, I will update that. Thanks for that, Chris. Have a good day, boys. Cheers, pal. Thanks very much. Mainly positive again. Good work. It's because you, buddy. As soon as you came in, watched the start of the video. He wasn't too positive, and then as soon as you came in, he changed it. Catch you later, lads. Cheers, buddy. BMG, don't that happen again, of course. See you later, John. Remember, remain positive, lads. Remain positive. We're nearly there. Great video, says Amy Clark. And Quirky says, nice one. Cheers again. Thanks to everyone. Mind yourselves, mind each other, and we chat you all again very soon.